first pitch tonight, we are thrilled to invite to the PubTalk stage Tiffany Huey, refounder and CEO of Snowshoe Leather Care. Tiffany Huey is the refounder and CEO of Snowshoe Leather Care, a company that has been in her family for 4 generations. A native Oregonian, Tiffany was raised in Portland and obtained her first experience in manufacturing, business, and marketing, working in the family business from a young age. After graduating from American University, she worked for Fortune 500 companies such as PepsiCo, Starbucks, and Nestle. Founded in 1927 in Portland, Oregon, Snowshoe Leather Care was created to protect the leather bindings on snowshoes, ensuring they remain soft, supple, and waterproof. And though snowshoes have evolved, Snowshoe's commitment to quality leather care has endured as a family business for nearly 100 years, serving the needs of leather goods enthusiasts. Welcome, Tiffany.
Do I have anything in my teeth, Shannon?
No, you're good.
Hi. At Snowshoe, we don't just want to help you take care of your leather. We want to help you preserve the memories that are woven into it. We understand that leather is not just a material. It's a keeper of memories, a silent witness to the moments that shape our lives. Every crack, every crease tells a story. Whether it's the boots that have carried you on countless adventures, the gloves that kept you warm through life's coldest moments, or the heirloom that has been passed down through generations, each piece of leather is a reflection of a journey. We believe that leather care is a unique ritual, one that goes beyond maintenance. It's about nurturing what we hold dear and ensuring that those beloved items continue to tell their stories long after the first time they were touched. Our mission is to honor and preserve those stories, ensuring that the leather you love continues to carry its beauty, its history, and the memories it holds for generations to come. I'm Tiffany Huey, and I'm the CEO and refounder of Snowshoe Leather Care. Thank you. Clicker. They said it takes a second, so I'm trying to be patient. There we go. That's me. Hi. Okay, so I've had the great pleasure of working for some pretty incredible companies and brands in my career, from Starbucks to Nestle to PepsiCo. And I've done just about every marketing role there is to do out there across CPG, retail, food service, and e-commerce. And what I've come to learn is really all of that 20 years of experience has set me up well to re-engage in my family business. I grew up pouring snowshoe as a little girl, earning a little extra spending money, and then really taking over all the manufacturing every summer in high school. And then my dad sort of taught me the fundamentals of marketing and business through Snowshoe growing up. And if you look at this photo, that's my great-grandfather in the black suit and my grandfather in the lighter suit with their wives at their cabin in Zigzag on Mount Hood. Snowshoe was started back when snowshoes were made of leather, and if you've ever snowshoed in an ill-fitting snowshoe, you know how awful that experience is. So when the bindings were made of leather, you really needed that leather to mold to your foot so it would stay on and stay waterproof. And while snowshoes have certainly evolved over the years, snowshoe hasn't. We still use the exact same recipe and quality ingredients that we had way back in 1927 when it was started, and sometimes we even use the same equipment. Snowshoe protects, conditions, and waterproofs leather. It's easy to use. Our primary SKU right now is this new 4-ounce tin, but we also have a quart and a gallon size because we sell a lot to the equine industry. And if you have a horse farm or a cattle ranch, you don't want to be dealing with a 4-ounce tin. Our primary efficacious ingredients are beeswax, pine resin, and carnauba wax, which is actually a palm wax, or comes from a palm tree. And we are the categorical experts. We didn't start as a leather boot company. We didn't start as a leather glove company. We don't sell anything else but leather care products. And in fact, we only sell right now leather conditioner. So we really know what we're doing, and we wouldn't have been around for almost 100 years if we didn't have tried and true methods. Like I said, we haven't changed our product at all because we have such an incredible cult following. We were founded in Portland, so we know a lot about damp and wet leather and how to protect it from mildew. And then when I embarked on this journey 18 months ago, I moved the business to Bend because I live here. So we also know how to protect leather from the dry desert climate like here in Central Oregon. We also are a waterproofer. A lot of products out there will just either do conditioning or waterproofing, but our product actually does both. And then we're a legacy brand. Like I said, we've been around for nearly 100 years and have all these tried and true methods to make sure that our product delivers. But there's still a lot of opportunity. So the global leather care products market is a $3.9 billion market. About 60% of that sits in North America. And if you look at it from a segment perspective, about 20 to 30% of households have leather boots, and you could double that for leather shoes. And then about 3.9 million Americans own a horse, which really surprised me. And actually, most Americans own 2 horses. So actually, the total number of horses in the US is closer to 7.2 million. So that's a lot of tack and saddles that need a lot of care because those are expensive items. In terms of our customer segments we're going after, there's really 3 main groups. The first one is a gentleman I call Richard. He's in his 60s, and he lives in God's country. He is an outdoor enthusiast and outdoor gearhead. He doesn't mind investing quite a bit of money in top-notch items, but he wants them to last decades, and so he takes really good care of them. And I have 2 pictures here of Richard, because Richard kind of has an alter ego. There's the Bend version of Richard on the left, and maybe there's a few Richards here in the room tonight. But there's also the cowboy version of Richard. And while they probably voted for 2 different guys in November, they actually share the same values. They care about, the outdoors and maintaining good things, maintaining quality items. I also have Mackenzie, and Mackenzie lives in small-town America. She's in her 30s, and she is a passionate writer and tack aficionado. And she also has an alter ego. There's the English side of Mackenzie and the Western side of Mackenzie. She loves horses, but it's a very expensive hobby, and so she really needs to make sure that her tack and saddles hold up. Saddles run like $3,000 to $5,000 generally, so they're really expensive items. And then finally, we have Jamie. And Jamie she's an urban dweller. She's likely in her 20s. And there's nothing she really likes more than going and finding a hidden gem, a diamond in the rough at a local thrift shop. She's very sustainability focused and practices upkeep culture. She doesn't believe in buying new when you can buy used. And she loves to bring this item home and reinvent it and document that on her socials. And she might even sell that item. Jamie is really not about the fast fashion of the past, but the slow fashion that is emerging as a consumer trend. From a channels perspective, we've been engaged in the wholesale business for a very long time. In fact, in our heyday, we were distributed by JCPenney back when they were America's largest retailer, as well as LL Bean. But now we're pretty focused on telling our story on Amazon, since that's as important of a marketing channel as it is a selling channel. And then we also have a D2C site. From a segments perspective, we're really focused on shoe and boot, as well as specialty retail, especially sport and outdoor, farm and ranch, and hook and bullet. And then longer term, we're going to focus on apparel, furniture, and automotive, but likely under a different brand. From a geography perspective, we're here first, so Bend in the West, but ultimately we do have a really good, surprisingly good brand awareness nationwide from that distribution through JCPenney and LL Bean. But we think Canada is a rich territory for us, as well as Japan and Europe. And so now I'm down to my asks. So what I'm looking for, if anybody has any great connections with shoe, boot, or sock sales reps, I'm looking for somebody with a great black book, but also somebody who's really hungry and eager and is out there knocking down doors and shaking hands. So if you know of anybody, that's my email with a weird formatting situation there. But anyway, that's my email at the bottom, or come grab me afterwards. If you don't know a shoe, boot, or sock rep, you can still help me out. This is in the middle, a list of the retailers in the Greater Bend area where you can find my product. Go out and buy it. Try it out. I've been paying attention to all the people coming up on stage, and most of you have leather shoes on. And then last but not least, it's an opportunity to become an evangelist. That's a list of retailers that I'm actively selling into. So if you know somebody, have their ear, or just go into one of these retailers and ask why they don't carry the fabulous local leather care product, Snowshoe. And last but not least, it's okay, pull out your phones right now. Follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn, like our posts. Those engagements actually really help in driving us up in the algorithms and helps us with our awareness. Thank you very much.
Everything about this was so refreshing. Thank you. And I'm also really impressed that you made a political joke and we all laughed at it. That was the first time that's happened in like a really long time. So wow,
thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, many thoughts. Kate Havstad Hat Company and Range Revolution. Obviously, you must be talking with them, right?
Trying, yeah. She's a very busy lady right now, so I am trying. And if anybody wants to help me with that,
I will help you with that.
Okay,
I also have another person for you to talk to. We just need to get together. Okay,
sounds
back
good.
to the show. Okay, so what made you decide to come back and take over the family business? This is incredible.
Yeah, it's a good question. I left Nestle. I was living in Seattle, and I moved to Bend in the middle of the pandemic, and they wanted me to move back to Seattle, and I wasn't leaving Bend. It was too great. And so I spent a few months trying to figure out what I want to do, and I realized it was staring right in front of me, that I had all of this training without really realizing it to be able to go out and do this successfully. And the other piece of this is just Bend is such an incredible, supportive community. I always say that Bend Nice translates into the business community, so certainly Bow, EDCO, Cultivate. There's so many recognized faces in here, SBDC. There's just amazing support here. And so if you're at all considering BOW for next year, please come find me or any of the other cohortions that are here, even from previous years. I couldn't recommend it enough.
It's so true, yeah. Okay, questions for Tiffany. Do I have any questions for Tiffany? I mean, I have plenty more, but if anybody from the crowd has a question. Okay, well, yes, right here. How do you use it? Great question.
So it's super easy. I always say just grab an old cotton t-shirt that's in the Goodwill pile or should be in the Goodwill pile. Just get it out and just put a little on the rag and wipe it on it. In this dry climate, it'll absorb right in. Sometimes maybe even a second coat. You don't need to put it out in the sun or in the oven or doing any of that. It's super easy. And honestly, you could do a full-size boots if you're not Keith. Keith will take 45 minutes to do it. But you could do a full-size pair of boots in less than 2 minutes. And we always say that leather should be treated at least once a season.
I feel like my cuticles need to be treated with this stuff. Another question over here. Yes? Jarrell. Oh, this is a great question. So she says she has a tin. Can she use it on her leather furniture that her dog has scratched?
It will transform your dog-scratched leather couch or chair. Yes, you can absolutely use it on any type of leather except suede. So leather, like automotive leather, that's the word I'm looking for. Leather jackets. It'll make it look better and rehydrate. Nobody really wants to hear this, but leather's actually skin, right? And just like we have to moisturize our skin, leather needs to be moisturized. It'll last a lifetime if you take good care of it.
Okay, I did want to just touch on one other thing. You mentioned like the slow fashion movement of the future,
yes,
which is a movement from the past that's coming back around.
Yes.
Would you I think this is maybe a newer concept for some people. Do you want to just say a few words about that?
Sure. So for the last, 20 years or so, fast fashion has been a big thing, right? So H&M, Mango, there's been a lot of retailers that have really leveraged supply chain to be able to bring in quick fashion and turn quickly. And the idea is, people only wear things sometimes a couple of times. It's made really inexpensively, and then therefore the price isn't very expensive either. But as the world has gotten crazier, both from a climate perspective as well as from a supply chain perspective, slow fashion is taking over. I have a 15-year-old son, and the first thing he does when he needs something is look at eBay. He doesn't, look at Amazon or any of the other things. Why buy new when you can buy used? So that's really that micro trend, or macro trend rather, of slow fashion.
And there's no tariffs on slow fashion. So
Hopefully less, for sure.
Yeah, okay, well, that's something. Okay, one more, just because it's you. Where is your product manufactured?
Thank you for that question. It is manufactured here in Bend, on the east side. I'm in a hayloft. My coworkers are goats and sheep and chicken. It's not very sophisticated.
Oh, sounds like a dream.
One more down in front. I'm a little nervous about this one, you guys.
One more question right here. Who takes your photos?
That's a great question. Clerk Huey right here does a lot of my social posts, so see me as his agent if you're interested.
Thank you so much. This is incredible.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Really,
guys.
really cool.